Hi yogis, welcome to the third series of the beginner yoga workshop. Tonight we're going to work through some hip opening postures. We're going to start adding into our full sun salutation some of the standing poses so that our poses start to flow together. So we're going to learn how to step forward into a lunge from downward facing dog. And then we're going to do some seated hip postures to open up the fronts of the hip flexors and the outer hips. So let's start seated on a block, maybe having a blanket under your shins. Bring your hands to your thighs. Bring your index finger and your thumb to touch and close your eyes. Take 3 deep breaths in through your nose and out through your nose. Starting to lengthen out the breath and settle down into your practice. You might use the mantra as we practice tonight of so hum or I am. So as you inhale, you'll think so. And as you exhale, say to yourself, hum. And if you'd rather work with the English version, you can use I on the inhale and am on the exhale. So hum, I am. Using this mantra to connect to a sense of self-acceptance and a willingness to observe the sensations in your body without judging or beating yourself up with negative self-talk. Let's bring the hands together at the center of the heart, and we'll chant Om to begin the practice. Take a deep breath in. Om. Bow your head to your heart. Release your hands, lift your chin, and open your eyes. Let's start in child's pose, Balasana. So for this practice, I have 2 blankets and 2 blocks. You may not need these props, but it's nice to have them handy. We're going to set them off to the side. So getting ready for Balasana, we'll start in hands and knees. Separate your knees wider than your hips. Bring your big toes together at the back of your mat. Push your hands down and forward and stretch your hips back towards your heels. And then just melt your heart down towards the ground. You can stack your fists and rest your forehead on that tower, or you can bring your forehead down to the earth. Rest here for a few breaths. On your next inhale, reach your arms forward and bring yourself up to all fours. Bring your knees right under your hips and tuck your toes. We're going to lift the hips up into downward facing dog, but first spread your fingers wide, root down into the index finger and the thumb of your hands. On your inhale, tip the sit bones to the sky, lift your chin and arch your back. On your exhale, round the back and push down. Inhale, look forward, drop the belly, lift your chin. Exhale, push down and round. Last time, inhale, tip the pelvis up, chin lifts. And this time on your exhale, hover the knees and shift the hips up and back, downward facing dog. Push your hands down, drop your head, gaze is between your shins. Look forward towards your hands, bend your knees a little bit and walk your feet to the top of your mat. Come into a forward fold, Uttanasana. Your feet are hip-width distance. Bend your knees to rest your belly on your thighs and drop your head and fold. With your inhale, lengthen your spine. Draw your palms to your shins, flat back. This is called Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, fold over your legs, Uttanasana. Bring your hands to your waist, squeeze your elbows to the sky, root into your feet and rise up with a flat back into Tadasana. Bring your hands next to your hips, or to your sides, palms facing forward. Mountain pose. So let's root into your feet. We're going to do one round of a full sun salutation. So bring your hands together to your heart in Anjali Mudra. Inhale here, lift your chest towards your thumbs. And exhale, release your arms. Inhale, reach your arms up. Bring your gaze up between your palms. As you exhale, hinge at the hips and fold forward, bending your knees as much as you need to into Uttanasana. Drop your head. Inhale, lengthen your spine, make a flat back, palms to shins. Your chin is neutral, so your neck is neutral. And then exhale, fold. Place your hands, bend your knees, step your left leg back into a lunge, and then your right leg back into plank pose. Take an inhale here, your body is in one nice straight line. With your exhale, lower your knees to the floor, and then lower your body in one nice straight line, aiming your belly button for the floor first. Roll your shoulders away from the earth. Inhale, stretch your toes back, and lift up, baby back bends. This is called Cobbler pose. Exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, inhale, press up to all fours, and then exhale, hips go back and up, downward facing dog. Drop your head. We'll take 5 breaths here. Come back to that mantra of so hum. Inhale, some, and exhale, hum. Inhale, so, exhale, hum. 3 more on your own. One more breath in, inhale, and exhale. Lift high onto the balls of your feet, look forward, bend your knees. At the bottom of your exhale, walk your feet to the top of your mat, Uttanasana, forward fold, drop your head. Inhale, flat back, palms to shins, neck is neutral. Exhale, fold over your legs. Inhale, reverse swan dive, lift up through your heart so your heart leaves, arms go out and all the way up to the sky. Exhale, gather the hands to your heart. Anjali Mudra. Inhale here. And exhale, release your arms. Okay, so we're going to flow back to downward facing dog, and then we're going to step forward into our lunge. So inhale, reach your arms up. Exhale, hinge forward and fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, palms to shins, lengthen your spine, flat back. And exhale, fold over your legs. Place your hands, step your right leg back into a lunge, and then your left leg. This time when we come down through Chaturanga, we're going to come down with straight legs. If it's too much, bend your knees. So take an inhale here. And as you exhale, shift forward just slightly so your shoulders are forward of your wrist a little bit, and then come down in one nice straight line. Elbows are in line with the shoulders, and then all the way down to the belly. Untuck your toes, inhale, come on up, Cobra pose, and exhale, lower down. To come back to downward facing dog this time, tuck your toes, straighten your knees, straighten your legs away from the floor, and inhale, press into the floor and lift up with straight legs into downward facing dog. Bring your feet together at the back of your mat. Root down into your left foot. Inhale, lift your right heel high to the sky. Hips are square. Exhale, thigh to your chest, shoulders over your wrist, core plank. Inhale, reach back. This is called down dog split. Reach out through your right heel. Exhale, thigh to your chest, shoulders over wrists. Look forward between your hands, and then step your right foot lightly between your hands. If you need to get a little bit of help there, if your leg didn't get all the way forward, if when you stepped forward you just got to about the middle of your mat, use your right hand on the back of your right heel to bring your foot forward. So here you'll need to use a blanket under your back knee, like this, just to cushion your back knee. If you don't have a blanket, you can flip your mat underneath and then lower your back knee down to the ground. It's nice to have blocks here under your hands. So one block under each hand. Squeeze your legs together, lift up through your chest. Inhale, reach your arms up, low lunge, Anjaneyasana, arms alongside your ears. Exhale, lower the hands back down to your block. Good, now we're gonna come back to Ardha Uttanasana. So you're gonna shift your hips back, your front leg will straighten, maybe lift the toes. Okay, so I'm gonna untuck my knee from the pad there, since I have a thick mat, just so you can see a little bit better. You can slide your foot forward if you want a little bit more stretch. The back knee is behind the hip. Inhale, lengthen your heart forward. Feel the stretch along the front hamstring. Let's come back into the lunge. So bend the front knee. You can move your blocks off to the side. Place your hands, pick up your back knee, step back, downward facing dog. We're going to take what's called a vinyasa here. So inhale, come forward to plank. This is the vinyasa. Exhale, either knees down or you come down with straight legs all the way down to the belly. Untuck your toes, roll the shoulders away from the earth. Inhale, rise up, cobra pose. And exhale, lower down. Tuck your toes, stretch your knees away from the floor, legs straight. And exhale, push up and back, downward facing dog. Bring your feet together at the back of your mat. Root down into your right foot. Inhale, lift your left heel high to the sky. Exhale, knee to your chest, shoulders over wrist, core plank. Inhale, stretch the back heel back. Exhale, thigh to your chest and step the foot between your hands. Again, if your left foot doesn't quite make it, use your left hand behind the left foot to step the foot forward. You want your front knee right over your front ankle. Lower your back knee down to the ground. You can pad up the knee if you like. Blocks under your hands. Squeeze your legs together. The back toes stay tucked. Inhale, reach the arms up alongside your ears. Anjaneyasana, low lunge. Exhale, lower your hands down. Inhale, reach forward with your heart. Exhale, shift the hips back, straighten the front leg, and you can adjust your stance. So you can maybe walk that back knee back a little bit. The front toes might be picking up, so you're resting on the front heel. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring a softening to your hamstrings. Imagine them widening out apart. This is a pretty big stretch for the back of the front leg. Let's come back into a lunge. So bend the front knee. You can move the blocks off to the side. Pick up your back knee, place your hands, and step back, downward facing dog. We're going to flow into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Inhale, reach your right heel high to the sky. Exhale, thigh to chest, step your foot all the way between your hands. Use your right hand behind your front heel if you need to. Let's take the block, one block, right next to the right ankle on the floor. And then we're going to turn the back heel down to the ground, spin it down. So with your eye and your finger here, I'm going to use my finger to point, front heel bisects the arch of the back foot, so line that up. Bring your left hand to your hip. And then we're going to push into the ball of the right foot until the leg straightens. You might have to back your block up and maybe move it to a different height. So the front leg is straight. Push into the ball of that right foot so there's a little micro bend in the leg. And then turn the belly and the chest up towards the sky, spinning the left shoulder blade onto the back. Reach the left arm up. This is called triangle pose or Trikonasana. Gaze is up at your front thumb, top thumb. Inhale here. And exhale, bring both hands down to the ground, turn into a lunge. So pick up your back heel. Place that block off to the side. Place your hands and step back, downward facing dog. Let's do the other side. So rooting into your right foot. Inhale, lift the left heel high. Exhale, step forward between your hands. Again, use that left hand on the back of the left heel to give you some help. Get your block ready next to your left ankle on the outside. Spin your back heel down to the ground, lining your front heel up with the arch of your back foot. And then bring your right hand to your waist. Push into the ball of your left foot to straighten the front leg. So you're feeling this left hip scoop under, right inner thigh spins back. You might back the block up a little bit and then turn the belly and the chest up towards the sky. Right shoulder blade on the back, stretch the right arm up. Trikonasana. Inhale, reach up through your right fingertips. Exhale, turn to face the front of your mat, lunge. Pick up your back heel, move the block off to the side. We're gonna step forward into Uttanasana here, so push off the back foot, step the right foot forward to meet the left foot. Forward fold. Inhale, lengthen your spine, half lift. And exhale, fold. Root into your feet, reach all the way out and up. Reach for the sky. Exhale, hands together at your heart, Anjaneyasana. Inhale. And exhale, release your arms. Okay. So turn to the, face the side of your mat. So face me. And you're gonna step into the middle of the mat. We're gonna do a balancing pose called Buddha pose or Galavasana prep. So bring your hands to your hips. We're gonna start by lifting the right leg. So root down into your left foot, pop up onto the ball of your right foot. Bring the right knee in towards your chest. Flex the right foot and then cross the right ankle over the left ankle, and like you're sitting in a chair, reach your sit bones back, bend your knee. Your chest is moving forward. So you can stay here, hands at your hips, find something to look at, your drishti, your gaze point, something that's not moving, and maybe bring your hands to your heart. Inhale, stand up, knee to your chest. Exhale, step the foot down, hands to your hips. Let's do the other side. So root into your left foot, your right foot, and bring your left knee in towards your chest. Flex the left foot, and then cross left ankle over right knee. Sit back. Your sitting bones are reaching back behind you. Hands together at your heart or on your waist, your choice. Hands at your hips will give you a little bit more stability sometimes, but hands at your heart will also give you the pressing in towards the midline, toward the middle of your body, which will give you a lot of stability. Inhale, stand up, knee to your chest. Exhale, step the foot down. Let's bring the hands to the hips. Separate your feet a little bit wider than hip width distance and turn your toes out. We're gonna come down into a squat. So a couple of options here. You might grab a blanket to rest your heels on. So this can be really nice. So your toes are off the blanket, heels pressing down into the blanket. And then we're gonna bend the knees deeply and come into a squat. So the seat comes all the way down. The hands press together at the center of the heart. Elbows are inside the knees. Okay. And your knees are going in the same direction as your toes. So toes can be turned out, and then you're working towards getting them more parallel. But don't worry if you need to turn your toes out for a little more space between your heels. Hug your legs in towards your arms and press your arms back against your legs. Lift up through your heart and widen the collarbones. And breathe. Come back to your mantra of so. Exhale for hum. I am. Let's bring the fingertips to the earth and lift the hips up, coming back into a forward fold. We're going to turn to face the front of the mat, move your blanket off to the side if you're using it, and step your way back to downward facing dog. Pigeon pose is next. So weight goes into your left foot. Inhale, lift your right heel high. Exhale, bring the shin forward and down. So the right knee is coming right behind the right wrist. And then you'll bring the left leg straight back behind you. So a couple options here. You can bring a blanket or two under the front hip to balance out the hips a little bit more. It's nice to have blocks in front of you for some support. Your back leg is straight back behind you, so tuck the back toes and bring the heel right in line with the back hip. If you can keep that activity in your legs, in your back leg, you can stretch the back toes back. Inhale, reach up through your heart, and push the knife edge of your pinky toe edge of your right foot down into the ground so that your ankle bone lifts up a little bit. On your exhale, fold forward. You can maybe bring your forearms down to blocks or all the way to the floor. If you're down, you can bring your palms together and just drop your head and breathe. This is called Pigeon pose, Ekapada Kapotasana, and it's a great outer hip opener for the right leg, and then you'll also feel a stretch along the front of the left hip flexor. On your next inhale, rise up. You can move your blocks off to the sides, place your hands, shift the blanket, tuck the back toes, and make our way back to downward facing dog. So lifting the right knee up and step back. Let's do the other side. Weight goes into the right foot. Inhale, lift the left heel high. Exhale, knee towards your nose, and then lay your shin down. So left knee behind left wrist. Walk your right leg straight back behind you. And again, the blanket can be placed under that front hip so that you can square your hips a little more easily. Right heel is straight back behind you, so take a moment to check, and then maybe stretch the toes straight back. Inhale, lift up through your chest. Exhale, fold forward. Again, blocks maybe under your forearms. Palms together, drop your head. Inhale, lift your chest up, come back up onto your fingertips, shift the blocks off to the side. To come out of this pose, we're going to shift the weight into the left hip, reach for the right leg, and swing the right leg around. We're going to stay on the floor now, and we're going to come into a pose called Baddha. So take a minute to set up for this pose with a blanket, maybe even two blankets, depending on how your hips feel today and what your range of motion is in the hips. So you'll sit on the blankets or blanket. Your knees will go wide and your feet will come together. So you can have your feet quite a ways away from your hips. bring your fingertips behind you and push the hands down to lift up through the chest. If this is okay, you can bring the heels closer toward your groin. Another option here is to have blocks to support your knees. Pushing down into the floor, lifting up through your chest. If you can keep this curve in the low back, nice natural curve in the low back, then you can bring your hands around to hold onto your ankles. Inhale here, and exhale, start to fold forward or stay upright. So if you start to round forward, you want to stay with your fingertips behind you, lifting up. Otherwise, fold forward. This is called Baddha or Cobbler's pose. Inhale, lift up tall. Exhale, bring your hands on the outsides of your knees and bring your knees together. Let's shift the blocks off to the side. We're going to come off the blankets. And we'll make our way down onto the back. So come to the front of your mat, feet are hip-width distance apart, root your big toes down. Inhale, reach up through your heart. Exhale, draw the belly in, come down a little bit. Navel towards your spine. Inhale, rise up, reach up through your heart. Exhale, navel towards your spine. Big toes stay rooted to the ground. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, come all the way down to the back for 5, 4, keep your big toes down, 3, 2, and 1. We'll take one bridge pose. So bring your feet closer to your seat so that you can reach your heels with your fingertips. Feet are hip-width distance apart like they're on train tracks. Bend your elbows next to your ribs, fingertips pointing up. Inhale here. Exhale, empty out all the breath. And at the bottom of your exhale, lift the hips up for bridge pose. You can stay here with the elbows bent or interlace your fingertips, roll one shoulder and then the other underneath your back. Press the forearms of the wrist bones down. Big toes press into the earth. And exhale, release down. So roll your shoulders out, release the clasp of your hands. Bring your feet out to the outer edges of your mat, so feet are wide, and then just let your knees come together. Rest your hands on your pelvis. Breathe here for about 5 breaths. Let's transition into a short Shavasana. So heel toe your feet a little bit closer and then just stretch one leg at a time out along your mat. So legs are straight. Let your feet flop out to the side. Make sure that no props are in your way so you can gently move them aside with your feet. And then turn the palms up towards the sky. Hands next to your hips, about 6 inches away. Let yourself settle onto the floor. Bring yourself back to this mantra of so hum, I am. And then release the mantra. Let all of the effort go from your practice. And rest here for a short, brief Shavasana. If you can stay for a longer Shavasana, stay here. If you need to end your practice now, start to extend your breath. Make your inhales longer and extend your exhales. Start to find some movement in your fingers and your toes. And then gently bend your knees and roll over onto your right side. Rest your head and your right arm and breathe here for a couple of breaths. And then using your arms to help you lift up, let your head come up last and come into a seat. Let's come back to sitting on a block. And you can use a blanket for under your shins. Sitting up tall in Siddhasana, your heels are one in front of the other. If this is too much with your heels in line with each other, just come into Sukhasana, so your ankles will be crossed. Ankles right under your knees. Bring your hands to your thighs. Index finger and thumb touch. Close your eyes. And bring your hands together at the center of your heart. Offering gratitude for your practice that lets us reflect on how we feel in each moment, in our bodies, in our minds, and in the very depths of our hearts. Namaste.